What is a fact that could possibly save your life? If you've gone 2.5 or more days without water, and you have to choose between drinking water without any way to sanitize it or not drinking water, drink the water. If you don't, you'll definitely die soon. Most of the diseases you can get from bad water take a couple days to set in, which gives you more time to find help. If you encounter a mountain lion, do not turn your back on it. Walk backwards. Cats are ambush predators. They don't want to fight you head on and will wait for you to turn around to attack. There are videos showing this behavior with tigers at the zoo. People will sit in front of the enclosure, and as soon as they turn their back to the cat, the tiger goes into stalk mode. They turn around to face the tiger, and the tiger goes out of stalk mode. 3 minutes without air. 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food. Worst title for a diet book. Actual fire spread shockingly fast. We all like to play what's the one thing you'd grab if your house was on fire? But the real right answer is that if it's not alive, you should leave it and get the hell out. People tend to imagine a fire burning on the floor in a corner somewhere, but the reality is often that it's running across the ceiling and circling around the walls. Just get out. I'm in Australia and recently was woken up by a watch and act alert. There was a bushfire racing up the gully 2 streets away. In that moment when I knew I wasn't going to stay and fight and had to leave immediately, I left with my phone, wallet, medication and pets. No trinket or photo album mattered. The necessities could be replaced. And people are really generous to those in need during an emergency. It was interesting packing my emergency bag for this season. And how little I packed. Will I be sad if my home burns? Of course. Will I miss some of my stuff? Yes. But I'm not going to care when the flames come. Learn to swim. You don't have to be Michael Phelps racing a shark. Just learn the basics. Learn to recognize the signs of distress in water and use the buddy system in water over your head. My brother was a Marine. He drowned in a popular swimming hole because no one realized he was having trouble and they were too far away once he went under. Fast. Face. Arms. Speech. Time. It's a way to spot a stroke. Face, if you've got an uneven smile or a part of your face is drooping. Arms, if you raise your arms and one of them slumps or can't be raised as high. Speech, slurred or unintelligible speech. Time is of the essence. Call 911 immediately. Edit, guys, I work in a kitchen. Stop asking me specific questions. I'm not a doctor. If a friend of yours has fallen through ice into a frozen body of water and you would like to save them, lie down on the ice and crawl out to them. Do not walk out to them standing up. This maximizes your surface area and lessens the likelihood that you will fall through the ice as well, getting you both ducked. Side note, if you are the one to fall through the ice, the first thing to do is to calm down and fight the effects of shock by taking deep breaths. You will do no good spazzing out and hyperventilating. After calming down, the next step is to army crawl on the ice. Do not try to lift yourself up on the nearest ice because this will make that ice also fail. Once army crawling on the ice, bring your legs parallel to the surface of the water and kick hard and fast, pushing yourself onto the ice. Similar to the above comment. This is to minimize stress on the ice by maximizing surface area. If you're at a bar or club and some asshole antagonizes you, don't let your ego get involved. Seen so many people get hurt when they could just walk away. Funny thing is, most people think fighting back will defend their pride, but to me and a lot of other people, you just look insecure. Be the cool guy who just laughs it off. Yours sincerely, former bartender. If some guy shoulder checks me in a club, I just say whoops, sorry bro. Fancy getting a beer? Confuses the hell out of them if they are angling for a fight. Then the next time I see them in a club, they'll wave me over and act as if we're pals. You can do the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. Seriously. Think about how often you eat or snack when you're by yourself, even if someone is in another room. If you're joking, you cannot talk or scream. Everyone should learn it. It's simple. Just make a fist and shove it up and into someone's ribcage. My fiancée was choking on some cake in bed and I was able to dislodge it that way. Sheet ducking happens. Be prepared. Not really a fact. But someone once told me this: if you wouldn't dare to put your big dig in there, don't put your finger in there neither. This is useful. Especially with big machines and other things with holes. You can prevent some serious injuries like this. Don't tailgate. Don't brake check tailgaters. Seriously this. You're in charge on a 1+ ton death machine and you want to play games? Duck right off with that sheet and messing with other people's lives. Mixing bleach with ammonia, both of which are common household cleaning products, can release deadly chlorine gas. Basically, don't mix household cleaners unless you are 100% sure of what you are doing. Also, always leave a window open if you're going to mix anything. The best idea is to not mix anything. If someone is trying to abduct you and fighting back or yelling for help doesn't work, then pretend to faint. Or vomit on them. If those tactics don't work, then take the chance of getting stabbed or shot to escape. Once you get in the vehicle with an abductor, your odds of surviving are less than if injured in public. Assume other drivers are out to kill you. Healthy paranoia when paying attention to other drivers is a great basis for successful defensive driving. If you ever come into contact with a gorilla, especially a male, stay low and quiet. And no sudden moves. Don't look them in the eyes either. They take loud noises and movement as a challenge and they'll crush you like a soda can. Reminds me of that thread about Bakito, where he beat the ever-living tar out of that lady that kept smiling at him all the time. Gorillas are terrifying. I think I'd genuinely rather fight a bear. Learned this one about bear encounters back in middle school, although I'm not sure how accurate it is. If it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night. It's pretty accurate from what I've read. Explanation for others. Brown, grizzly bears are an absolute unit. And you won't win a fight with one. So your best bet is to play dead. Black bears generally don't want to fight and are timid. If you come across one, make yourself big and make lots of noise and you should scare it off. They're not too big too, so you should be able to defend yourself. White, polar bears are known to hunt humans. And are the largest of all bears. If one's coming after you, you're ducked unless you have a gun. If someone is holding you at gunpoint, make eye contact. Say you don't have to do this. Humanize this person, as they will have feelings and be vulnerable. Use that to your advantage. Eye contact will form a connection. They will be less likely to kill you. If you happen to someday find yourself on a sinking boat, and it goes underwater and you're somehow able to get free, beware. Once the air neutralizes, if you're far down enough, water pressure will kill you and collapse your lungs. To avoid this, scream all the way to the top. No joke. While you swim up, scream. It'll keep the pressure from killing you. Don't be too proud to ask for help. Life has this odd habit of throwing us curveballs every now and then. It can be difficult to overcome it on your own. So don't be alone. Open up. Confide in people you trust. Seek professional help. And be patient. It takes time. Just don't keep it all in you and fight it alone. That's a recipe for real damage to your mental health and happiness. If you ever get caught in an avalanche and are buried under snow, spit. Gravity will tell you which way is up. In an emergency situation, if you need help for yourself or someone else, don't just yell help or call 911. Use specifics. Instead say something like "you in the blue shirt. Help." Unless called out personally, people have a tendency to walk on by, assuming someone else will help. Using a personal detail gets them involved. If the accelerator in your car gets stuck and you cannot stop, shift your car into neutral. Chips can be used as a fire starter. I imagine pretty much any snack food that is starch based would work. Personally, I find Doritos to work quite well. So next time you're lost in the woods, stop at the next vending machine you see and it might just save your life. If you ever find yourself caught in a riptide, swim parallel to the shoreline until you get out of the riptide. Swimming directly back to the shore while caught in one won't get you anywhere and it'll only exhaust you, making it extremely dangerous to do so. If your hair on your arm or on your head is standing up on one end during a thunderstorm, lightning is about to strike you. If there is not a building or a car nearby, crouch down immediately. This forces lightning to find the next shortest distance possible it can strike, since lightning strikes the tallest thing in its area. If you have a cut that gets infected and see a streak of red going up from it, go to the doctor immediately. It is a sign of serious infection that can lead to sepsis. A girl in my middle school pointed out the girl sitting in front of me and started yelling that she needed to go to hospital right away. The girl had what looked like a red-purple tree root tattoo coming out of her sock and up her calf. Turns out she was right and it was some kind of blood infection. I was really confused at the time but never forgot it. That stuff is no joke. If your car is submerged in water, you won't be able to open the door against the weight of the water on the outside pushing it closed. If the car is completely filled with water though, the pressure on either side is equal and the door can be opened. That's the worst case scenario, though. And that should be the last thing you try. The first thing to try to do is roll up, or smash, the windows and jump out. You have less than a minute to do this. Do not waste any precious time calling 911 until you get the hell out of that car. In a crisis situation, people run for the door they came in from. When the shooter walks into the restaurant, run for the kitchen. There's always an exit through the kitchen, and very few people will think to run there. Plus, if you're not armed, a kitchen is full of acrylic cutlery to defend yourself with. If you find yourself peeing a lot, I mean just an inordinate amount, you find yourself tired, thirsty, and hungry all the time, you find yourself paradoxically losing weight, diabetes, every head injury, no matter how minor, has the potential to be fatal. Always treat a firearm as if it is loaded. If you are unfamiliar with the weapon and you must move it, point the barrel down at the ground. Keep it away from your feet and keep your finger off the trigger. Turn into a skid. This is the way it was taught to me. Turning into a skid means the difference of going into a ditch and going into a ditch upside down. If you're being chased by a brown bear, lay down. Brown bears usually attack in defense, so lay down so you don't look like a threat. If you're being chased by a black bear, fight back. Don't try to climb a tree. They can climb too. If you're being chased by a polar bear, you're kinda screwed. Because polar bears give zero ducks. They'll kill you if you lay down, and you won't be able to successfully fight back. Your best bet is to strip. Throw your clothes in different directions. Then pray and run as fast as you can, because they have a tendency to stop and sniff things. Get proper sleep. You need it in life. Do your best to get more or less the hours you need every night. A bad night will not heal you. However, over a longer period, lack of sleep may cause a series of conditions: heart failure, blood pressure problems, early Alzheimer's, etc. Perhaps kill you in traffic due to you being stressed, not focused, or will make you less able to deal with problems in relationships and might lead to depression. You will likely make very bad decisions. Decisions that could damage you and possibly the people around you for years to come. Don't visit the United States without health insurance. Don't go anywhere overseas without travel insurance. It's saved my ass a few times. You don't have to wait 24 hours to report a missing person like most people think. This may not save your life directly as other things in this thread. But if more people realize that you didn't have to wait, it could save many lives, because the faster a missing person report is filed, the better chance they will be found. If you have the telltale signs of a heart attack and live alone, aren't around anybody, cough vigorously, It will help keep you conscious hopefully long enough to call 911. The AHA doesn't endorse it, but if you're about to go unconscious it won't hurt to do it.